I have the sun glaring right behind me here. I'm like in the Goodyear parking lot, sitting here waiting for my tire to be repaired. Kind of a scary thing happened to me yesterday, and when it happened, I literally had to just rely on God to protect me and my mother-in-law. So we are heading up to the mountains yesterday. It was my day off, and I needed a day off. I was feeling pretty stressed, and we are like 30 minutes away from our destination, and we have to go through like mountains and windy, twisty mountain roads, um, which, like, in the wintertime when it snows, we don't even go because the roads are that treacherous. And so we're about 30 minutes away from where we're heading, and all of a sudden my tire light comes on. And at first I can remember seeing that, and my first thought was, oh, that's the check engine light. And I just ignored that because every 20,000 miles, my husband puts higher efficiency oil. He does the oil changes for me. And so for the split second, that's what I was thinking. But then I'm looking at that tire light and I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's my tire light. And then, of course, on my dash, it pops up, would you like to check your tire pressure? And I'm like, oh no, what just happened? And so I click yes, and all of the tires except one was 35, 36 psi, and but then that one tire was 19. And I turned to Liz and my mother-in-law, and I'm like, we've got a flat tire. And of course, I didn't see anything in the road or anything like that. And this was like a really, really dangerous area because there really wasn't enough shoulder to pull off. I mean, you could pull off so you're like on the other side of the white line. But I watched it go from like 19 down to like 5, and I'm like, oh man, got a flat tire. What do we do? Like, we're like in the middle of the mountains, and now luckily we were just a couple miles from the exits for Truckee, California. And so I pull over because, my mother, because I was thinking, I need to just go really, really slow. I turn my hazard lights on, and I need to get to an exit because then surely we would be able to find somebody to change the tire, because I admit I am a total girl when it comes to things like this. I don't know how to change a tire, okay? And I need to learn how to do it. I need to have my husband just show me how to do it at home so that I know how to use the jack and all of that. And so pull over, and on the side where, my mother-in-law is sitting, just this concrete wall. And so we've got, semi trucks blowing past us. It's like we had just rounded a corner. And here I am stuck on the side of the road, and it's like when no cars were coming, I got out to see which tire it was. And of course it had to be the left front tire. And so I'm like, okay, this is not good. Even if we get somebody to pull over, I'm gonna have to get me off of here somehow because it's too dangerous. You cannot change a tire in these conditions. And so she's like, well, lift the hood up, that'll help people realize that you need help. And so I was like, okay. got out and I popped the hood and had the hood up. And so cars were just passing by. And I wasn't really scared in the sense of, I suppose I halfway knew how dangerous of a situation it was, because lots of times people that are pulled over on the side of the road, other cars that aren't paying attention, you can get hit from behind. And so, I mean, there was a real danger of that. And I guess I didn't try to think about that, I'm just, okay, God, you got to protect us here, just get us out of this situation. And so, I was like, okay, well, on my phone, I dialed 411, which is, information, because, we're really close to Truckee. And so I'm like, Truckee Highway Patrol. And my calls kept getting dropped, which really, really irritated me. And so finally, my mother-in-law, she's like, just dial 911 and explain what's going on. So that's what I had to do. I had to dial 911 and told the lady, what had happened, where I was at. And she's like, well, we're gonna call a tow company for you. Just make sure that you answer your phone. If anything comes in, restricted or blocked, you answer your phone. And so, got off the phone with 911, and probably maybe 10 minutes later, I don't think it was a sheriff car. I think it was maybe like Truckee police or something, pulled up behind me, came on my mother-in-law's side and says, are you Wendy Mitchell? And I'm like, yes, I am. And he's like, good, we found you. And so dispatched and said, that they had found us, and explained, what had happened, that I got a flat tire. And he's like, well, we got to get you off of here. This isn't safe. And so he's like, just he said 5 miles per hour, just go really, really slow, keep your hazards on, and you're going to get off on that next exit, because there's a Chevron up there. And he was going to avert traffic, so people wouldn't be running into me. So he had his lights on and his hazards on, and he was averting traffic so I could safely get off I-80. And so it was only a mile, but it seemed like that was the longest mile ever, because he didn't want me going more than like 5 miles, and it kept getting up to like 10 miles. And so I had to like bring it back down, and going 5 miles an hour is just so slow. But did get off and pulled into the parking lot safely. And he said that he notified the towing company that they would be here within a few minutes. And it was probably only 5 minutes later, after he left, that the tow company got there. And he suggested, going into Reno to see about getting the tire fixed, because I explained, I just bought all new tires back in March, that they're under warranty. And he's like, well, there's Goodyear in Reno. It would be better to go into Reno, see if they can fix it. Otherwise, I'm having to drive back to Sacramento on a spare tire. And so what he did to make things a little bit safer for me is he put one of my other regular tires in front and put the spare in the back, just because my car is a front wheel drive. And he said, just go, about 50 miles per hour and you should be fine. And he said, if you have to drive all the way back, like if you can't get it fixed in Reno, he's like, just go really, really slow, because you don't want another blowout, because then I won't say the cuss words, but boy, I'm thinking of them. I would not be in a good position, let's just say. And so Reno was about 15 miles further than where we were going. And so I was like, well, it's not that much further. So I got directions, got there, and it wasn't a Goodyear, but they told me where to go. Got to the Goodyear, and they couldn't work me in for 10 days. And I'm like, okay, this is not good. And so we're like, okay, I guess we're going to have to just drive back carefully, only going, 50, 55 miles per hour. And so I called the Goodyear here and explained what was going on. And I'm like, can you get me in first thing in the morning? And he's like, I will make it happen. And the guy is so nice. I've bought 2 sets of tires from him now. Super sweet. And so that's what I'm waiting on now, is to find out if the tire can be fixed. Now, the odd thing is when they pulled the tire off in Truckee, there was no nail, no nothing really to indicate, no like rupture or big, tear in the tire. So it's kind of weird. And so he said that what they'll do is air it up and put it in water to see where the leak is. And so I'm hoping that I don't need a new tire, because if I do, they have to order it, and then I'm driving on the spare probably over the weekend until they get the tire in. But just waiting and seeing what's going on. But it was just kind of one of those things that I had to literally just trust God to protect me. And it's like, as I was driving home, I'm only going, 50, 55 miles per hour. And, I'm driving slower than the semi trucks. And it's like they're all passing me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to worry about it. I have to trust that God is in control and he's taking care of me. And so got back fine. It took me 2 hours to drive home at 50 miles per hour, and there were 2 rest stops on the way. And I said, I'm pulling in really quickly at each rest area, because I'm going to just get out and check and make sure that spare tire is still okay. And it made it back fine. And I got out driving this morning about 7, went and got my coffee, and then headed over here to Goodyear. So yeah, that's what happened to me yesterday. And I have to call my insurance, because I don't think we kept roadside assistance on our policy. My husband thinks that we did. I don't. I think we excluded it, but there's a possibility that the $330 that I had to pay for the tow truck, that will be reimbursed to me. So maybe pray that we can get that money back. But still, God provided the money. I was able to just pay cash, got that taken care of, and so I'm just thankful to God that me and my mother-in-law, we made it back safe. And she's just thinking of it, it's just a mountain adventure. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really see it as an adventure at all. It was a little bit scary. It was quite a stress-inducing experience, but I just had to trust God. I really, really did. So you never know when something's going to happen. You never know. And that's why, we can only have so much, and I'm telling this to myself, we only have so much control over our own lives. Yes, the things that you can control and you're accountable for, to the best of your ability, you be accountable. But what happens if you're driving and you get a flat tire? That's out of your control. What do? Well, you be safe. Get off the side of the road as quickly and safely as you can, and then you just have to trust God to take care of you. But yeah, just wanted to touch base with you guys, because I haven't done a live video for a while. I've just been working and doing my deliveries, which I enjoy. Um, and I really watch my miles. I have an app on my phone that actually shows me how many miles I drive a day when I work, because we get hardly any kind of compensation for gas. And with gas prices so high, now that all this is going on, I make every drop of gas count in my car. It's like, in fact, when I filled up last time, my car has a thing that shows me, how many miles is left on my tank. I got that puppy down to 3 miles left, and then I went and filled up, and I was like right by the gas station and everything. So it's like, I don't deliver unless, the total distance is like 5 miles or less. That's including going to the restaurant and getting to the customer's house. I'm so extremely picky, because I pay for all of my expenses, and so the more money I can make with the least amount of miles driven means more income for me. And so that's basically what I'm looking at, when I'm going to work. But still, every week God has provided exactly what I need to pay our bills, because me and my husband, we just bought 2 months ago, just made our first truck payment. We bought a Ford 2000 F350. We spent a little bit of a penny on that, because we're making plans for our future. Going to be getting an RV, and so got to get that paid down and pay off some of our other bills. Then it's time to look for an RV, because that's going to be our retirement thing as we go into our future together. So yeah, so just been just really busy. Try to get back into to doing music at least once a month now. And hopefully next week I'll be back to doing girls' night out with you guys. Yeah, so just I keep you guys in prayer. Just remember to keep me in prayer. And just, these are things to think about. It's like, I had absolutely no control over what happened yesterday. It's like, flat tire happened. Okay, now what am I going to do about it? Here's the situation I'm in. And so it's like, try to be smart and think things through, and God provided the help that I needed. So, all right, well, listen, I'm going to go check on, see how things are going. Hopefully the tire can just be repaired and they don't have to order me a new tire. But if they do, it's all covered under the warranty, and so I'm thankful for that. I paid about $800 for 4 brand new tires back in March, and so I'm glad I have the warranty, because it takes care of everything. So, all right, you guys take care. God bless, and we'll see you next time.